Version 7.1 is looking really good for anyone who's currently saving Primogems. The latest beta information gives us a much better idea of how many Primogems and wishes we could earn throughout the update. And with the 6th anniversary happening during this version, there are some pretty big rewards included. So in today's video, we're going to break down the current version 7.1 Primogem calculation and see just how many pulls you could actually get. We'll go through the regular Primogem sources, events, anniversary rewards, the free-to-play total, Welkin Moon, Battle Pass, and even how many pulls you could potentially get during Phase 1. Before we start, credit goes to Hiragara for the original version 7.1 Primogem calculation that we're using as the basis for this video. And one important thing before we get into the numbers. These are still beta estimates, so the final amount can change before version 7.1 officially releases. Some rewards could be added, removed, or adjusted. Personally, I'm pretty interested in this calculation because I'm trying to figure out how aggressively I want to pull in 7.1, especially with so many characters coming later in Snezhnaya. So let's see how many Primogems we're actually getting. First up, we have one of the most consistent sources of Primogems, daily commissions. If you complete them throughout the entire 42-day update, you're looking at around 2,520 Primogems. That's already a pretty solid amount from something most players are going to do anyway. Then we have the endgame content. The current calculation gives around 800 Primogems from Spiral Abyss. Imaginarium Theater could provide around 2,000 Primogems if you collect all of the available rewards. And then there's Stygian Onslaught, which is currently estimated to give another 450 Primogems. Honestly, this is one of the parts one like about the calculation. If you're someone who regularly clears the endgame, a pretty large chunk of your 7.1 savings is coming from content you would already be doing. Of course, not everyone will be able to collect every reward, so your personal total could be lower. But we're going to use the maximum current estimate for this calculation. The version 7.1 main story is currently estimated to give around 710 Primogems. And completing the story should also give 2 intertwined fates. Side quests could add another 70 Primogems, while achievements are currently estimated at around 55 Primogems. Then we have the version 7.2 livestream. Assuming Hoyoverse follows the usual format, the livestream codes should give us another 300 Primogems. Maintenance compensation is expected to add 600 Primogems. And finally, around 200 Primogems are currently listed under miscellaneous sources. These can include things like web events, mail, and other smaller rewards. These numbers might not look that impressive individually, but once you put everything together, they add up pretty quickly. And we're still not at the most interesting part, because version 7.1 also has the 6th anniversary. Now, let's move on to the events. The main version 7.1 event is currently estimated to give around 920 Primogems. Then we have 2 additional events, with around 420 Primogems each. So the events are giving us a pretty nice amount on top of everything we've already covered. Personally, this is where I start thinking that 7.1 could be a really good patch for rebuilding your savings. You have the normal patch income, endgame rewards, events, and then the anniversary rewards on top of that. And all of that is going to make a pretty big difference for anyone who's starting to save now. But now we get to the biggest special reward in the entire update. The 6th anniversary. The 6th anniversary of Genshin Impact takes place during version 7.1. And this is one of the biggest reasons why the Primogem total is looking so good. The current calculation includes 1,600 Primogems from the anniversary. And on top of that, we're also looking at 10 intertwined fates. That's a pretty significant boost. Personally, I think the 10 intertwined fates are especially nice because they go directly toward limited character banners. There are also some other anniversary rewards being discussed. However, I'm not going to add anything that isn't included in the current calculation. I'd rather keep the estimate conservative than add rewards that might not actually happen. If more rewards are confirmed later, then obviously the final total can go even higher. There's also an interesting detail in the current calculation. Exploration is listed at 0 Primogems. The offering system is also currently listed at 0. Now, personally, I wouldn't completely rule out those numbers changing. We're still dealing with beta information, and rewards can be added or adjusted before release. If additional exploration or offering rewards are added later, that would obviously push the total even higher. But for today's calculation, we're keeping both at 0. And honestly, I think that's the safer way to look at it. I'd rather plan my pulls around the lower estimate instead of assuming rewards that haven't been confirmed yet. So now we've covered the main sources. Let's finally see where the total lands. After adding the current rewards together, the calculation comes out to around 11,065 Primogems. On top of that, we're looking at 22 intertwined fates. That gives a completely free-to-play player approximately 91 limited pulls. And there's also around 15 Acquaint Fates for the standard banner. So the current F2P estimate is 11,065 Primogems, 22 intertwined fates, around 91 limited pulls, around 15 standard banner pulls. And honestly, 91 limited pulls from one patch is a really good amount for an F2P player. Especially when you consider that this doesn't include any Primogems you may already have saved before version 7.1 starts. But there's something really important to remember. 91 pulls does not mean you're guaranteed to get the character you want. You could reach pity and still lose the 50-50. So personally, if I were starting version 7.1 with 0 savings, I wouldn't try to guarantee multiple characters. I'd choose the one I want the most and keep some Primogems in reserve. And that becomes especially important when we look at the current 7.1 characters. Now, let's add Welkin Moon. Welkin Moon adds around 3,780 Primogems throughout the full patch. That brings the total up to approximately 14,845 Primogems. You would still have the 22 intertwined fates from the previous calculation. That works out to around 114 limited pulls. For me, this is already a pretty comfortable amount. If I were saving for one specific character, I'd feel much better going into their banner with around 114 pulls available. But I still wouldn't spend everything just because I have the Primogems. There are so many characters coming later in Snezhnaya that I'd want to keep some savings. And personally, that's probably going to be my approach in 7.1. I'll have a character I want to prioritize, but I don't want to completely destroy my savings for one banner. Now, let's see what happens if we add the Battle Pass. The paid Battle Pass currently adds around 680 Primogems. It also gives 4 additional intertwined fates. So with both Welkin Moon and the Battle Pass, the current estimate becomes 15,525 Primogems and 26 intertwined fates in total. That works out to approximately 123 limited pulls. So now we have 3 main totals. F2P, around 91 pulls. Welkin, around 114 pulls. Welkin plus Battle Pass, around 123 pulls. Honestly, 123 pulls from one patch is a lot. But once again, it doesn't guarantee 2 5-star characters. And I think that's something people need to keep in mind when looking at these huge Primogem numbers. Getting 123 wishes doesn't mean you can automatically pull 2 characters. Your 50-50 luck and pity starting point still matter. But there's another number that could actually be more useful depending on who you're saving for. How many pulls can you get during Phase 1? According to the current calculation, a completely free-to-play player could have around 71 pulls by the end of Phase 1. With Welkin Moon, that could be around 81 pulls. And with Welkin plus Battle Pass, around 84 pulls. That's honestly pretty good. If the character you're waiting for is in Phase 1, you could potentially have a large number of wishes ready before the first half even ends. Personally, if my main target were a Phase 1 character, I'd probably try to save as much as possible before the banner even starts. That way, I'm not relying entirely on the Primogems I earn during the banner itself. And if I get the character early, even better. I can just keep saving everything after that. Now, let's talk about the characters that could actually be competing for these Primogems. The current version 7.1 information points toward Vodyanitsa and Vesna as the 2 new 5-star characters. Vodyanitsa is currently expected to be a 5-star Hydro Catalyst character, and Vesna is currently expected to be a 5-star Anemo Sword character. Of course, their kits and exact details are still based on current information and can change before release. But if you're interested in either of them, this Primogem calculation is pretty important. Personally, I wouldn't decide to pull for both just because the patch gives us a lot of Primogems. I'd look at their final kits first. If one of them ends up being significantly more interesting to me, I'd rather prioritize that character and keep the rest of my Primogems. Because we're still very early in Snezhnaya. There are going to be a lot more characters coming after 7.1. And I definitely don't want to spend everything now and then regret it when another character I really want appears later. So, what am I actually planning to do? Personally, I'm going to be pretty careful with my Primogems. I'm definitely interested in the 7.1 characters, but I'm not going to pull just because I have enough wishes. I'd rather have a clear priority. If one character ends up being the one I really want, I'll go for them. And if I get them early, I'm immediately going back into saving mode. I think that's probably the best way to approach Snezhnaya in general. There are too many potentially exciting characters coming later to spend every Primogem the moment a new banner appears. So even though version 7.1 is looking generous, I still think saving is extremely important. So let's put all of the numbers together one final time. For free-to-play players, 11,065 Primogems, 22 intertwined fates, around 91 limited pulls, and around 15 acquaint fates. For Welkin Moon players, 14,845 Primogems, 22 intertwined fates, around 114 limited pulls, and for Welkin Plus Battle Pass, 15,525 Primogems, 26 intertwined fates, around 123 limited pulls, and, during Phase 1, around 71 pulls for F2P, around 81 with Welkin, around 84 with Welkin Plus Battle Pass. So, overall, the numbers are looking pretty good. Personally, I think the biggest takeaway is the 91 estimated limited pulls for F2P players. The anniversary rewards are giving version 7.1 a pretty big boost, and the regular events and endgame rewards add even more on top. But remember, these are still estimates based on the current beta information. The final Primogem count can change before version 7.1 officially releases, especially because exploration and offering rewards are currently listed at 0. So don't treat these numbers as a guarantee. And once again, credit to Hiragura for the original version 7.1 Primogem calculation used for this video. Now, I want to know what you guys are doing with your Primogems. Are you saving for Vadianitsa? Are you going for Vesna? Or are you skipping both and saving for someone coming later in Snezhnaya? Personally, I'm going to be saving quite a bit because there are already some future characters I'm interested in. So let me know who you're saving for in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe to Celestia Tales for more Genshin Impact Primogem calculations, banner updates, and Snezhnaya content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.